Do you know what you're doing every week in your business? Or are you wondering exactly how to get organized or what to do? Or what marketing you should be putting out there? I'm Nicole COO with Greg Luther Coaching, and I want to talk about this. This is a common question that we get here at Greg Luther Coaching because our agents are often hustling in the business. They're on appointments, they're doing showings, they're working with their buyers and their sellers. But when they actually get home and they have to stop, they don't know what to do on the business. So I did a short post not that long ago with a couple little key details, but I wanted to actually dive into my computer and give you some actual tips and tricks so that you can get yourself organized. There's a big disconnect when it comes to the in the business and on the business working. So in the business is the daily crazy. It's the circus in our head that's playing. It's the monkeys, and everybody's monkey is out of control. And it's the fires you're putting out. So we often get consumed with those times, and here we have the same thing. We're working on events, we're doing webinars and seminars, and we're on to the next thing with coaching calls and clients. But we do have to step back and work on the business. And it's important that you guys know exactly what you should be doing too for the real estate side of your version of on the business. So when the dust settles and you're able to get situated, what are you doing? Are you doing that power hour that you've heard us talk about? So as a reminder, the power hour is your dedicated time each morning where you are working on the business and you're laying out your plan for the day. You're looking at what needs to be done for marketing. Is your marketing on schedule? Do we have to order any inventory? Do we need any listing packets? What does our Facebook posts look like? What does our Facebook Marketplace ads look like? What about our target marketing ads on Facebook? Have I made any FSBO calls? Am I working with attorneys? Have I thought about working with expireds? So this is where you're having a self meeting. And you're basically running through all those things in your head to see what makes the most sense that you should be working on. But in that hour, you're getting organized. So you're putting together a to-do list so that you know today I am looking at everything that needs to get done. I'm going to stay on task and be efficient with my time. We also need to time block so that we know we're not spending too long on a task that might not be worth the time. So if you have something that you can delegate and you do have a team member or a child who's willing to address some envelopes for you, delegate the things that aren't valuable to your time. Time is money. So anything that is the higher level things you should be doing. And obviously it has to be you in the business and in the field doing those. But I want to talk about setting up a marketing calendar, setting up maybe like that daily task list and what you should be doing. Now, I mentioned not long ago that I use paper calendars. We have so much technology in our life. I don't need that to dictate what we're doing. And I don't want you guys to be stuck with technology vortexes and having to learn the latest. Or if the system goes down, now your whole day is wrecked because that system can't tell you what to do. You need to be dependent on your own system. So tried and true paper and pen, and for me, a lot of color highlighters. So I have a daily, I have the whole annual calendar here that runs our business. And on each of these pages has lots of different things that have been highlighted. Each of those colors represent a different thing. So something might be a coaching call with you guys as our members. Something might be a record some content today. Something could be working on a tech project, booking events for upcoming events, our seminars, a team meeting. There's lots of different things that we're doing. So for yours, you need to be looking at what does your calendar look like? And that's where that marketing calendar comes into play. So I want you to think of a few basic things that you should have on your marketing calendar. Are you thinking of them? Did they pop into your head? So a few things that I could rattle off the top of my head is, what are you doing for sale by owners? What are you doing for expireds? What are you doing with your attorney referrals? Now you could work probate and divorce. Both of those have to do with life changes. And when there's a life change, there's a real estate change. So what are we doing with those different elements? And then what about our free home value leads? I know we can't use the word free anymore, but that's what we use in the behind the scenes world. But are we generating sellers with free home value leads? Are we putting out the perfect home finder offer? And what are you doing to kind of capture those people in and go find them homes? Are you mailing the Greg Luther letter? The Greg Luther letter is responsible for hundreds and hundreds of appointments over the last few months. Never mind however many listings came from those. Never mind how many other deals came, because then those listings needed to buy and more homes were found and it kind of just snowballs. But what are you doing with all of those things? So a quick rule of thumb would be to figure out 3 to 5 things that you should be doing in marketing and dedicate a timestamp to those and putting those on a calendar. And then as you become more proficient in following your own calendar, then we add more to the marketing and we can tackle more niches because there's a lot of different niches out there that you could be working. So I'm going to show you real quick on my computer a little glance of a marketing calendar. Again, I use colors. Colors signify different things. I can look at a chart, and if I've color coded it, then I know what I'm looking at. Blue means this, yellow means that. I think this came from my mom. I'm one of 4 in my household, and she had a giant calendar on the wall, and we all had our activities and after school events and doctor's appointments, and I was pink, and my sister was yellow, and my one brother was blue, and my other brother was green. So thanks, Mom. I guess I'm a color crazy person for that. But I'm going to jump in right now and show you what this looks like at a glance, so that you could see what you should be doing. So again, paper calendar, this is just the Word format version. I actually have it handwritten. Like I said, it's all scribbled on here, but this is just for demonstration purposes. But you could see that I have some different things that signify different parts of marketing. So red is my research, orange are my funnels, green my emails, brown I'm doing stuff with listings, purple is Facebook, blue is mailers, and gray is lead follow-up. And what I've done is I've just taken just a generic calendar. You would put the month and year on the top here so that you know, and better yet, you print out a whole packet full of calendars, full of the months, and staple it so you have the whole year at your fingertips. But you'll look at this and then you can put in what you're going to be doing. So we know the beginning of the month, we need to work on our Sphere of Influence newsletter. For our members, we provide a newsletter that's done for you. You just come in and put in a few different nuggets of your own, add it to the articles that we've provided, and spruce it up, and then you send it out the door to your Sphere of Influence. So if you start prepping that on the first of the month, which happens to fall on a Thursday in our demonstration here, you want to get that out in the mail by the 15th. So this is already being prepped and worked on. Some of the different things. Let's look at red and research. So Mondays is our research day. So we're looking at what recently expired in the last 7 days, what for sale by owners might have hit the market, and also for sale by owners often try their open houses and their own different strategies on the weekends. And secretly, we're hoping that they fail. So that way, when we contact them, they're more interested in our services. Also, we're maybe looking up EDDM, which EDDM is every door direct mail. So this is where you could take over a whole area or a neighborhood for a much cheaper rate. One of the great services the post office offers that saves you a lot of money. And then if we look further down, so the next Monday, we're doing our attorney research for divorce. And then we're going to maybe look at probate too, because again, a life change of a marriage or the divorce or a birth or a death often bring about a life change. So attorneys are great for referrals for this process so that if you develop those attorney relationships, now they're sending you business and they're doing kind of the hard work for you. So we need to look up our attorneys that we want to try to work with. But you can see that this alternates every other Monday for these research components. And then on Tuesdays, maybe we're doing some Facebook posts. We're making sure that content's out there. We're staying in front of people and top of mind presence. We're also doing Facebook Marketplace ads where those are free. You could do up to 150 Marketplace ads a day. So if you stop and think, how many did you post? What did you post today? What did you post yesterday? And I only put Facebook Marketplace on Mondays. So this is actually something that once you become dedicated to the cause and we build that little bit of a routine with 3 to 5 things, we beef up that calendar. So Facebook Marketplace ads, what about our Facebook paid ads? If we have any sort of the funnels, we talk about the funnels here at Greg Luther Coaching because we have these different funnels that if you have different bait going out with different offers and you're bringing them into your system, what are they funneling down with? So what emails are going out, what texts, what other content are you sending to them so that you're talking to them as a whole group and eventually they're going to bite on something. So we're checking our funnels on Tuesdays as well. And you can see all the way down Tuesday, it's the kind of the same thing. We're building that routine. On Wednesdays is going to be our mailer day. You could see we do all of our mail on Wednesday. So we get some expired mailings out the door because why? we did research on Monday, and we've probably done some envelope stuffing and some prep, and we're getting those out the door, making sure on Wednesday. And then maybe we're calling some for sale by owners or putting some stuff in the mail to them. We should also do calls on Monday if you have time after the research, because again, we hope they failed on the weekend. And then we're placing that EDDM order because we did our EDDM research. So let's get that in the mail. And as we look down Wednesday, we're doing our mailing inventory check. So this is where I talk about you should have certain pieces at your fingertips for mailers. So you have a stack of the Greg Luther letters already ready to go for a house that you're trying to find for buyers that you have, because you do need buyers in order to mail that letter. So you have a stack of those ready to go. So you can drop in the mail. You keep some postcards on hand. 6x11s can get a singular stamp and an address label. So if you see something that entices you, you drop it in the mail if you wanted to stay off that EDDM track. What about your listing packets, your other brochures, your other marketing materials that you have? So we're doing a full inventory check too on Wednesdays every other week. Then on Thursday, we already talked about the first of the month, so that just happens to be your Sphere of Influence newsletter. But now we're also prepping listing packets because we want to make sure we are never out of inventory for listing packets. So these should be about you and your menu of services and what you can offer the client, and some history of success. Put some testimonials in there or some picture-monials where you have pictures with your clients. So what are in those packets that grab and go, you are ready at the drop of the hat, plus a listing contract. Always come prepared. Put an extra pen in there too. And then of course, whatever other, paperwork your local state and brokerage require need to go in there as well. And then down Thursdays, we're also doing aged lead follow-up. So we're in our grays. So this is a lead follow-up for aged leads. So these are our older leads that have come in that we're still nurturing along the way, and additional Facebook lead follow-up too for any of the new leads that are coming in. Further down, now let's do some emails. Are we going to email the attorneys? Continue building those relationships. What about our Sphere of Influence emails? Let's hit them with an email. We're only hitting them twice a month based on this calendar. But again, I only put a few different marketing things on here. I didn't even load it up with all the things that you could be doing. And then that continues down for Thursdays. And then on Fridays, we're doing funnel checkups again. We're doing listing checkups. How are our listings doing? And we're kind of just cooling off, prepping for the weekend. Of course, you're going to have other things that come up. So you could see by getting organized with a systematic approach that kind of uses a color strategy, it's very helpful. At the eye, you know what you need to be doing. And if you're the lone wolf agent, you could set yourself up for success easily. And if you have a team, you could teach your team how to follow your system. So it's important that you do these types of things. And this is what is helpful to that power hour we talked about, because now you have your calendar and there's no way you can not know what to do. So at quick glance, I know, okay, today is X day. I have X, Y, and Z to do. Plus, I have the in the business stuff that I need to do, which is meet somebody at this house for a showing. Maybe I have a closing. Maybe I'm doing a business networking event that I need to show up to. Same thing on the weekends. You might have personal stuff that you're doing for kids' soccer games or sports or family functions or self-care massages, whatever you want to do, mixed in with your business stuff. There might be a crafts festival that you rented a booth so you could promote your services. Or depending on the time of year, there's so many holiday events going on where you can actually be an agent who's hosting something at that holiday event. So your marketing calendar potentially going to shift over the course of the year, depending on what's going on in the world and the holidays. But your main staple things you should have written down. And then you know what's on the marketing calendar, and you move your main things you need to do to a smaller list, and you check those off as you go. And it becomes kind of like there's no question left. You know what path you're following. We've outlined it. You've made that map for yourself. So our members know that I have bigger, more in-depth trainings on our member site regarding this. If you are not familiar with where those are, you can email us. But I want everybody to get organized because there's a lot of money to be made in this industry. And if you are scratching your head, not knowing what to do when you're not in the business, playing with the crazy and putting out fires and dealing with, everything you're doing out in the field. What are we doing on the business? If you don't know that, then you're not going to have an in the business. So let's set yourself up for success. Start looking at how you can get better organized, making sure you keep your personal life out of your workspace. You're not paying bills in the same area you're putting together your marketing calendar. You're making sure you're protective of your time. If the door is closed, nobody should come in there. We have a door close policy here that even if you're on fire, call the fire department. I don't have a fire extinguisher in here. I can't help. And I know that sounds extreme, and I'm using levity in my explanation, but you need to protect your time because time is your most valuable thing. That's why I said at the start of this, hand off the stuff that your time doesn't make sense to be spent on. You take over the valuable things. You make sure that those high dollar items are all in order so that your business can get rocking. So go work on those marketing calendars, put your foot to the fire, hold yourself accountable, make those small checklists, and make sure that you're doing it. Do the work, put in the time and effort, and in theory, you should have a great, successful business coming at you, and you'll always know what to do, and you'll never have to ask that question, what did I do today? All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Hey, it's Greg Luther, and listen, if you don't follow this channel, there's a good chance you're never going to see me again. I consistently put out regular content, and it's extremely helpful for real estate agents to grow their business. I want to keep you up to date on what's working so that you're in the know and you can take action accordingly. So be sure that you like and comment here, but most importantly, make sure you follow, share, and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on anything. I'm here to help you in growing your business, and I'd love to do so. Follow right now.